So the RLCS spring split is just around the corner, and since my predictions for the winter split were so good, I've decided to make another predictions video. So today I'll be predicting who's gonna make it to the major from each region and who is gonna be crowned the spring major champion. As always, I'd like to note that this is just my opinion, which is of course correct. Your predictions might be entirely different to mine, but hey, it's okay to be wrong. But in the interest of not making this intro 15 minutes long, let's just jump right into it. So first, just like last time, we're gonna start off with North America, and there are 5 teams that are gonna qualify for the major, with the 5th one, of course, being Complexity. Now for me it was kind of hard to decide which one I was going to put here, because I feel like Furia has improved enough to maybe qualify for the major, but I bet on them last time and it didn't really work out. However, this time they're looking a lot better, so they could potentially still make it to the major, but I just feel like with the current competition in NA, it's going to be really tough for them, and Complexity was consistently beating them last split, so in the end I've decided to go with Complexity over Furia. And then in the 4th place I put version 1. Now last split wasn't the best for them, but now with the addition of Daniel, they have the amazing combo of Daniel, Beast Mode, and Calm. But yeah, they obviously look like a really good team. They haven't been the best in the pre-split tournaments, but I think with that crazy team, they're gonna have great results during the regionals this split. But since they're a new team, I feel like they're gonna have some like adjustment pains, so they aren't gonna be one of the top 3 teams straight off the bat. But I do think they're gonna qualify, and I'm gonna put them at 4th. And then 3rd, this time I finally decided to go with G2. I don't know, I always underrate them for some reason. For some reason, I always feel like they aren't good enough to qualify, and then they just prove me wrong time and time again. So this time I finally decided to go with them, and I put them at 3rd because they are a very consistently good team, and I think with that they're gonna earn a 3rd spot this region. What? and I think with that they're gonna earn a 3rd spot this split. Then in 2nd place, after some consideration, I've decided to put Gen G. Now obviously they've been dominating NA ever since they came to the region, but they've shown some signs of slowing down, and with some recent results against the number 1 team, I think they're gonna take the 2nd spot. And then obviously the number 1 team is FaZe Clan. Like obviously these guys have to be like at least 1 or 2. They are just too good. They were also the number 1 seed last split, and they even made it to the major final. So I think they're gonna continue the momentum into the next split, and I think they're gonna finish 1st. Then moving on to Europe. Now obviously there's been some crazy changes in Europe, like Rice going to BDS, Zen finally being eligible for Vitality. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen in the region. And luckily for you guys, I am here to tell you guys. So at 5 we have Oxygen. Now obviously losing Rice wasn't great for them, but I still think they're a very strong team. They were the 3rd seed last time, and they've been pretty consistent throughout the season, so I don't think losing Rice is gonna hurt them so much that they're gonna lose their major spot, but they will go down a few places to 5th. Then in 4th place I put Team BDS, and I know last time I predicted them to go to the semifinals, which wasn't correct, but trust me, this time they're gonna do well. Obviously they got Rice from Oxygen, which I think was a great move for them. The whole roster's just been looking kind of stale since the World Championship, and I think the addition of Rice is the thing that's gonna enable them to qualify for the major this time, I promise. And then number 3 is Team Liquid. Obviously they were the 2nd seed last time. They also did really well at the major, making it to the semifinals. They're also a young team and they're only gonna improve, so I think they're a very safe pick to qualify for the major. However, I think the 2 top teams are still gonna perform slightly better than them in the next split. The first of which, or well, in 2nd, is Team Vitality. Obviously everyone's hyping up Zen, but they were also a very solid team before, and obviously the addition of probably the greatest young player at the moment is only gonna make them even better. Now they could also be 3rd and Liquid be 2nd. I think it's kind of close between them, but I think with Zen they might have a slight edge over Liquid, so I put them in 2nd. And then in the 1st place, I don't think anyone's surprised by this. Everyone and their mom saw this coming. It's of course Monkeys. No, no, I'm joking. Karmine Corp. Why is it Karmine Corp? You know what? I don't think I need to explain. It just is. Like, let's not kid ourselves. It's not even fair. They're just too good. But yeah, that's Europe. And if you're from the future, I know you're probably thinking, how did you know that? And I swear I'm not a wizard. I'm just really smart. Then moving on to Oceania, and there's going to be 2 teams that qualify for the major, which are going to be the Pioneers and Ground Zero. Now I think Power is going to be a close contender this split. However, I feel like Pioneers and Ground Zero are just better teams, and based on my track record, I've never been wrong about Oceania, so you should totally believe me. But yeah, I just think Pioneers and Ground Zero are the 2 strongest teams in Oceania right now, and based on last split, Ground Zero were pretty consistently beating the Pioneers, so I've decided to put them 1st and the Pioneers 2nd. And then we're moving on to South America, where once again we have two teams qualifying, which are going to be Team Secret and Ninjas in Pajamas. Now, I predicted Ninjas in Pajamas to go first last time as well, and they disappointed me horribly, but I do believe they're gonna be on form for this split. They did win the last regional of the last split, and just in case you forgot, they did win every regional in the fall split. I don't know what happened last split, but I do believe they're gonna be back this split. I've never said that before. And then second, I picked Team Secret because they're a very consistently strong team, and I think they're a pretty safe pick to qualify for the major. And then our penultimate region, we have got Middle East and North Africa. At least sometimes North Africa. And there they have two very obvious contenders, which are Team Falcons and Rule 1. I kind of want to pick Rule 1, but I still think Falcons are just too strong for them. They've qualified for every single major since the start of last season, and even last split they were pretty consistently beating Rule 1, pretty much only losing to them when it didn't really matter anymore. So I think Falcons are still too strong for Rule 1, and they're gonna qualify for the major. And then the last region, and arguably the most important region, we have Asia Pacific, where we have a lot of teams that are contending. You have Elevate, you have Gaming Gladiators, and Detonator I think are the top ones. However, this time I do believe Elevate are gonna make it. Last split was kind of a shocker for them, but I believe this split they're gonna bounce back. Never heard that one before. And that's all the teams that are gonna qualify for the major. Next, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen at the major. Of course, the major is also gonna be a double elimination bracket, and with my current predictions, the matchups for upper bracket round 1 would be Karmine Corp versus Elevate, version 1 versus BDS, Team Vitality versus Complexity, Ninjas in Pajamas versus Team Falcons, FaZe Clan versus Pioneers, Team Liquid versus Ground Zero, Genji versus Oxygen, and G2 versus Team Secret. And what I think the first round results are gonna be are Karmine Corp is gonna beat Elevate. I think there's very few people who would predict otherwise. And then version 1 and BDS was kind of a hard pick, but I feel like version 1 might just be better in this series. And next we have Team Vitality versus Complexity, and yeah, it's just gonna be Team Vitality, I believe. Ninjas in Pajamas versus Team Falcons, and I've gone with Team Falcons. FaZe Clan is gonna beat the Pioneers because obviously Team Liquid is gonna beat Ground Zero. And then we have Genji versus Oxygen. We have apparently Jack versus Jorius, and I think Genji is gonna win that one quite comfortably. And then the last one is G2 versus Team Secret, and I've picked G2 to win this series. And then the next round, I think Karmine Corp is gonna beat version 1. Team Vitality is gonna beat Team Falcons, which is gonna give us a French showdown in the upper bracket semifinals. FaZe Clan versus Team Liquid is kind of hard. I feel like Team Liquid could win this one, but I still think FaZe Clan is such a strong team that they're gonna win. Then Genji versus G2, I feel like Genji is gonna win this one, which will give us another FaZe Clan versus Genji matchup. Then in the lower bracket round 1, BDS is gonna beat Elevate, Complexity is gonna beat Ninjas in Pajamas. We're gonna see Pioneers and Ground Zero face off again. And like I've said before, I feel like Ground Zero is just a better team, so they're gonna beat Pioneers. And then lastly, we have Oxygen versus Team Secret, and I'm actually gonna predict that Team Secret is gonna beat Oxygen. Why? I just feel like there's gonna be at least one upset, and I feel like this one could be it. And then who's gonna win in the lower bracket round 2? BDS is gonna beat G2, I feel like. Why? Let's be honest, it's just total guessing at this point. It's gonna be a repeat of the World Championship Finals, and I feel like if this was the case, BDS would win again. Then we have Team Liquid versus Complexity, and I think Team Liquid is gonna win this one. They're just such a strong team. Then Team Falcons versus Ground Zero, I don't think there is even a debate. It's gonna be Team Falcons. And then lastly, version 1 versus Team Secret, and I think version 1 is going to take that since they're only in the lower bracket in the first place because they had to face Karmine Corp. Then let's see what's gonna happen in the next round. Is that I actually think Team Vitality is gonna beat Karmine Corp. Now you can call me an idiot, but when this happens, eventually, I'm not gonna accept your apology. And then in the other upper bracket semifinal, I think this time Genji is gonna take it over FaZe Clan and face Team Vitality in the upper bracket final. And then in the lower bracket round 3, I think Team Liquid is just too strong for BDS, even with the addition of Rice. So I think Team Liquid is going to win this match. And then Team Falcons versus version 1, I think Beast Mode and Daniel and Calm are just gonna show how good of a team they are, and they're going to beat Falcons to face FaZe Clan in the next round. And then I think Karmine Corp is gonna beat Team Liquid. I think there is still gonna be too strong for them, and they're gonna take the match over them. And then FaZe Clan version 1, I think FaZe Clan is going to take that one, and they're gonna have a repeat of the final of the last major, which I think Karmine Corp is gonna win again. Why? I'm just a Karmine Corp shill. I mean, it could go either way, but to be honest, at this point, this is just total guessing, so I've decided to go with Karmine Corp. And then in the upper bracket final. I think Genji is gonna beat Vitality, which is gonna give us a repeat of the upper bracket semifinals, which this time I think Karmine Corp is gonna win, which is gonna give us a grand final between Genji and Karmine Corp. Now, who's gonna win this one and win their second major of the season? It's gonna be Karmine Corp. Fight me, I picked them again. But that's my predictions. Now, please tell me how I'm wrong, so in a couple months you can be totally humbled. But with all seriousness, do please tell me who you think is going to win the major. Whoever gets it right, I'll pin your comment or something. But that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. Become a member if you want my honest opinion. I think it's pretty great. Whenever I do streams on Twitch, you'll have the chance to 1v1 me on the stream. Those are always fun, and I've yet to win one. But maybe you can be my first win. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Wait, it's not on the screen. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'll see you guys later. Bye. And shout out to Gerardo Daniel Rodriguez Gonzalez and Stock.